Hello again, everybody. Welcome. We're going to get started today on the back, as we often do with an initial relaxation. So please find a comfortable position where you can let your body settle down, where you can let go of anything that came before in your day, or any thoughts, any preoccupations with the day ahead. If you like, keep your feet on the ground with your knees bent. Or consider extending your legs one at a time. And let your whole body just spread out. With every exhalation, see if you can release any holding, any physical tension in your body into the floor. Making any small adjustments, any changes that help you settle in a little easier. Once you've noticed how it feels in your body in this moment, bring your attention to your breathing. Always breathing in through the nose whenever possible, whenever that feels nice. And as you exhale, letting the breath fully release out the nose or out the mouth, making a sound, making a sigh with your breath, can be a nice way to help yourself release tension. We begin with breath awareness of your natural breathing without any need to change or manipulate. And don't worry, don't judge yourself or your breathing. See if you can just become a little bit more neutral, a little bit more receptive to observing what is. And allow yourself to let go of any worries, any thoughts about what you might like it to be or to feel like. Or something, perhaps if you're feeling a little bit of discomfort, perhaps a little bit of strong sensation, or even pain in the body. Notice how that feels, but then see if you can let go of any stories that you might be telling yourself about that. And again, just become a little bit more observant of what is. Bringing your attention back to the rise and fall of your natural breathing. And then slowly, when you're ready, we're going to start to deepen the breath. So on your next inhale, just take a little bit longer a little bit fuller inhalation. And as you exhale, lengthen the breath out so it's at least as long as every breath in, releasing all the old air out. Continue like this in your rhythm so that your inhales gradually become deeper and longer. And your exhales stay smooth, soft, and complete. You can even squeeze the belly in to get that last air out. So in this way, in your own time, you're going to gradually arrive at a very full, but still comfortable breathing rhythm. So you don't want to be trying too much or breathing so hard that your breath has become difficult. And you want to take all the time you need to let every exhale be complete. Now, in your next inhale, simply continue filling the lungs from the bottom through the middle and maybe even into the topmost area of your breathing room, but not too much. Gentle pause, and as you exhale, follow the breath out, releasing from the top to the middle, and finally the bottom of your breathing room. Perhaps a gentle squeeze in to get that last air out. We're going to see if we can just balance the breath here at your maximum comfortable breathing rhythm so that the length and strength of your inhales matches the length, the smoothness, and the ease of your exhales. If you like, you can count your breath here, or if you have a clock you can listen to, and follow that. Perhaps an 8 count in, a gentle pause, and then releasing the breath for that same count, or even a little bit more on the way out. So we're really extending the exhales here. At any time your breath becomes labored, you feel like it's difficult or stressing you, then just soften, release a little bit, take it easier. But again, see if you can balance into that comfortable, deep breathing rhythm for about the next minute. At the end of your next full exhalation, simply return to your natural breathing. And take a moment here to notice again how you're feeling in your body, especially noticing if there are any new sensations, any changes, or anything at all you didn't notice before that you're able to observe now and here. And as you're ready, starting to wake up the physical body with some easy, small movements, some circles through the wrists, through the ankles, and maybe even stretching your whole body, hands overhead, getting nice and long. We're going to bend the legs and bring the legs into the body and give yourself a squeeze. Let's see if you can keep your tailbone, so the lowest part of your back, reaching down to the ground and reaching long away from your head, away from the crown, the top of the spine. We're going to start by taking some circles with the knees in your hands. And so you can start with any size and any speed of circle, just so long as it feels good and that you're able to stay connected with your breathing. Always, again, breathing in through the nose. And when it feels good, breathing out through the nose, gentle and relaxed. We'll do one more circle like this, and then pause and rotate in the second direction. And see if you can notice the parts of your back, especially your lower back, that have contact with the floor as you do this circular motion. And maybe also the bones of the sacrum, so that part just above your tailbone, where the vertebrae are fused together. It's kind of got a triangular shape with a couple of corners at the top of that triangle, and also a couple down at the bottom towards your tail. And you might notice how the contact, the pressure of this part of the back changes, increases, and releases with these circles. So if you haven't felt that, maybe slow it down a bit. Try a different size of circle. Just see if you can notice that. And then we're going to plant the feet on the ground, so the feet are underneath the knees. I just want you to feel the length, but also the curves of your spine. So right above the tail and the sacrum, we have the lumbar back. And this is the part where people really tend to have a big curve, the biggest curve in your spine. And also at the back of the neck. So the neck is long, but not pushing down into the ground. It's not flat here. Back of the head resting on the floor. Now we're going to start to exaggerate that bend, the curves in the back, by tilting the pelvis on an inhale. Pull your tailbone down to the ground as you arch. The belly will lift. And then as you exhale, pull your tail up. The back will round into the ground. Keep moving like this. This is very similar to the cat and the cow pose that we often do on hands and knees to warm up. But it's actually just an exercise here in some flexion and extension of the spine by articulating through the pelvis. So we're tilting the pelvis forward as we arch. And as you exhale, we're tilting it back, getting round. Pull your belly in. Do this a couple of more times. And really feel that contact with the mat. And again, the length and the curves in your back. And at the end of your next exhale, let the back stay resting down. So your lower back reaching down into the ground. You have a nice contact with the floor. And then we're just going to do a little bit of engagement for the core before we add some leg work here, this stabilizing exercises. So inhale and notice the rise of the belly. With the full breath, it might even move up into the chest. And as you exhale, follow the breath out. And now on your next inhale, I want you to squeeze the belly in. And it's moving up a little bit towards your heart. And notice how the breath now will move a little bit more into the middle of the breathing room and into the chest. We're trying to maintain deep breathing here and a lot of ease. As you exhale, release that squeezing. Take a natural breath here. We're going to do that one more time before we add the legs. Exhale completely. And then as you inhale, navel pulls down into the body and a little bit up towards the heart as you take a deep breath more into the middle and upper parts of your breathing room. And on your exhale, let's go ahead and hold that squeezing even as you release the breath out. And then let go of any squeezing, any holding, and breathe naturally. So the abdominal muscles, these core strengtheners, stabilizers, are actually some muscles that we can engage almost anywhere, anytime. I really want you to focus on that core and that feeling of stability and how it feels with your deep breath. So we're going to try to hold our center as we add this leg work. On an inhale, go ahead and bring your legs, your lower legs, parallel to the floor, your knees right above your hips, and spread your toes. And we'll go ahead and engage that center, navel pulling in and up to the heart. Your hands can stay by your sides or even facing down for a little bit more support. Or bring them above your heart like you were holding a little ball of energy. On an exhale, we're going to tap the toes of the first foot to or towards the floor, but still hold the center. And then as you inhale, come back up. And then exhale, second side. Moving really slowly here and keeping the knee very stable. Not a lot of wiggling or movement there, just an easy glide. We're going to do this about 4 more times. If ever you feel something really sharp or fiery, if you start cramping, that's a good sign for your body to stop what you're doing, slow down, and take it easier. Take a pause, and return to your natural breathing. If it's a cramp, you might want to massage that area that's cramping, or also flex and extend the muscles around it. Please always listen to your body as we're doing this work. And you're invited to add a little bit more if it's working well for you, or also leave anything out that does not suit you today. Do that one more time on each side. The whole time, pulling the belly in, stabilizing the center, and breathing deep. And then we're going to add both feet together. Spread your toes on an inhale, and exhale, let both feet lower towards the floor as slow as you can, as slow as your breath. And then inhale, come back up. And exhale, breathe out the mouth. Give yourself a hug there, and just feel that. Another way to release some tension is to roll on the back, rolling a bit side to side. I'm going to do one more while we're here on the floor, and we have that support, that stability of the floor. So on an inhale, go ahead and extend your legs up. So your upper leg here is now vertical. at a 90-degree angle to the floor, but you can always bend your knees, especially if your lower back gives you any discomfort. And again, you could keep your arms down on the ground for support, or for a little bit more engagement, lift them above your heart, but keep your shoulders heavy, relaxing in the direction of the mat, back of the head on the mat. And then inhale, let's spread the toes again as you pull your navel into the body. And then exhale, we'll lower the first leg any amount. Could be 1/3, 1/2, maybe even almost all the way to the ground. The foot is just not touching the ground, and your breath remains fluid and deep. So breathe a lot here and notice what you're feeling. And we'll spread the toes on both of the feet as you lengthen the legs. And then energetically, we're going to add a squeeze. So it's like your legs were scissors. Or imagine scissoring the legs back towards the center, towards your center line. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, feel free to breathe out the mouth. Nice way to release some heat as well as tension. You can also circle through the feet and ankles. So get ready for the second side. We'll spread the toes. And then exhale, lower that second leg down. Again, any amount. You only want to go as far as you can maintain that deep breathing and where you're not overly straining anywhere in the body. So if your teeth are grinding or you've scrunched up all of the muscles in your face, it's probably too much. Take it a little easier. You can always bend the knees if you need to, but let's try to lengthen the legs again. Stabilizing the center and breathing deep as you start to squeeze your legs towards each other. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, hug it in. Another way to release some tension in the side abdominal muscles, putting your feet on the floor, your arms out wide, and just let your knees flow over side to side with the breath. Good work. Good foundation for our center. We're going to come up onto hands and knees shortly, so you can roll over to your side if you like, or you could also grab behind the knees and give your back another little massage here by rolling up and down. Try to do that with as little momentum. You're not going very fast, but you're really feeling your center. And then if you come up to a seated position, you can cross the legs and come back to hands and knees. In hands and knees, shoulders are over the wrists. The wrist is in line with that top part of your mat. And the knees parallel right underneath the hips. We'll take cat and cow a couple times again, inhaling and arching the back. Exhale and round. As you inhale, your tail reaches up, your shoulders stay in the back, looking up. And then as you exhale, your tail pulls down towards your knees, and your belly pulls up and in. You could also close your eyes here, or whenever you're feeling fully grounded and very stable. By closing the eyes, this can help you develop a little bit more of that inner gaze, noticing different aspects that are going on inside of you right now. The next time you exhale, coming into a neutral spine. And again, just noticing the length and the curves in your back. We'll do one more stabilizing here before we get moving a little bit in our flow. So we'll lift that first leg up and see if you can feel your hips. Try to balance your hips here, so both hip bones in the front facing the ground. And then push through that back leg, spreading the toes and bringing the toes, even if it's just energetically, they don't move much, but they're moving or pulling in the direction of your nose. And if you like, you can lift the opposite arm, hands facing inward, the thumb facing up. And again, remember your breath. Notice the length of your spine. So you're looking at something just in front of your mat so that the back of your neck is just as long as the front. And breathe deep here. An option to bend the back leg or just stay where you are. And if you like, you could reach for that back foot or for the shin. Just be careful if you're grabbing close to the ankle. You don't want to put a lot of pressure on the ankle. Flexing that foot and engaging your leg as the arm pulls against the leg. A little bit of a back bend, but strong, stable center. Inhale, release, neutralizing and lengthening. Then exhale, back to hands and knees. And just a pause to give yourself a chance to feel. Second side when you're ready. You can also tuck the foot of your standing leg. This may help you stabilize a little bit more. Spread the toes and then push that foot away like you were standing on something. Try to feel your hips again as level as they can be. And if it feels good, you can lift that opposite arm forward. Try to keep again the shoulder connecting into that upper back support. Notice the length on all sides of your neck. And then notice your breath. So feel free to stay here for about 3 more breaths. And you have the option to bend that back knee and reach back for the foot for balancing tiger here. So it's moving us into a powerful back bend here, but this is supported by that core work and the breath. The end of an exhale, releasing, and inhaling to lengthen out again, and exhale back to hands and knees. Go ahead and tuck your toes into the ground. Spread your fingers wide. And you're going to push through all 10 fingertips and then the rest of your hand as you inhale. Lift the hips up and exhale into downward facing dog. Now feel your shoulders here. See if you can notice them connecting again into the back. So they're quite far from the ears here, but you don't want to feel any strain in the shoulders. So try to soften your elbows, and maybe even gently engaging the elbows in the direction of your knees. So there's a little bit of a spiraling action there. And you can also bend your knees one at a time to get a nice stretch in the opposite leg. Coming up onto the toes and the balls, and then bending the other knee. Get a nice stretch through the back side of that extended leg. You could also just start dancing your dog if that felt good, or moving through the hips a bit, sliding through the shoulder girdle, and noticing that stability, noticing the ease. Let your head be heavy. Your neck is long. Your breath smooth and deep. Go ahead and bend your knees a little bit more as you lift your sitting bones a little bit higher. Really getting a nice stretch through the lowest part of the back again. And then look forward between your hands and walk it or hop it, or just step a couple times forward. Inhale halfway up and exhale, forward bend. Nice. Bend your legs enough so that you can get your hands on the ground. And notice your knees, they're going to want to stay in the middle line of your foot. So right above the heel here. And following those toes, especially toe 2, toe 3. Let's inhale, come halfway up again. Shoulders back, tail back. Exhale, fold a little easier, forward bend. If you can spread those toes again, maybe lift them, that might help. And then relax them, just feel like big, steady base. And we're going to come up nice and easy here. You can do this by just unrolling. If you do that, take it slow and slow your roll enough that you can feel the different articulations, the different pieces of your spine stacking up tall. Your head and your neck, the last thing to come up. And stand tall towards the front of your mat in mountain pose. The hands face forward here, the palm and the bicep forward, arms by your side so that the shoulders again can rest into the back body, into the support of the upper back. Chin parallel to the ground. Lift your heart. And again, notice your breath. I'm just going to take a few deep, full breaths here in standing. Notice again how you feel. Before we start to warm up the whole body, a little bit of peak stabilizing work today for our center. So on an inhale, reach your arms up, look up, and exhale, bring your hands back to the center of the heart. Inhale, activate the legs, keep that belly engaged, reach up. Exhale, fold from your hips, forward bend. Inhale, come halfway up, so your heart reaches forward. Exhale, step the right leg back. And pause here in a high lunge. You can come onto your fingertips for a little bit more length. We're using the strength of the legs here to extend again through the back. And then exhale into plank. Notice again the length of the back and those curves. And for the first chaturanga, lower your knees and feel that connection of your shoulders, that support. And exhale, bending your elbows by your side, lower down all the way to the ground. Then release the feet, so you point your toes away and bring your arms in, so the elbow is right above the wrist, 90-degree bend there. Shoulders in the back, and on an inhale, push the feet into the ground as you come forward and up. So we're using our core again here in Cobra. We could even lift the hands, and we'd be able to stay here in our gentle back bend. Exhale, release, chin to the chest, and come back to downward facing dog. One more breath here, a pause to find a little more stability, a little more ease. And then on an inhale, lift that right leg up. And exhale, step it forward. Hug the knee into the body. Step as lightly as you can. And now we're in that high lunge again on the other side. I like to come on the fingertips here and then squeeze the legs into the body. Back is nice and long. Exhale, step forward, forward bend. Inhale, come halfway up. Really long, strong back. Exhale, a little easier, forward bend. And then inhale, you could just roll up again with one breath or lower your hips and lift to the back. Exhale, standing tall, Tadasana, your mountain pose. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, hands to the center. Inhale, strong legs for a long back. Exhale, fold forward You can also bend the knees as much as you need. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, left leg leads on the second side. Pause for a breath, pulling the leg bones into the hips. And then exhale, plank or plank on your knees. And again, you might lower the knees as you exhale and then chaturanga down to see if that will help the integrity, the long line of your spine. Point the toes. And then you're going to activate the feet down into the ground as you lift the upper body forward and up. Stay here for a breath and see if you can relax any tension you don't need, softening your face, relaxing the shoulders into the back. Exhale, chin to the chest. Coming through hands and knees is a nice option, or just lift back, downward dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Reach through both of the feet, and as you exhale, knee into the chest and step as lightly as you can. Second side lunge. Notice that front knee right over the heel and still in that center line of the foot. Exhale, step forward, Uttanasana, forward bend. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, a little easier. Inhale, reach up, rise up, and exhale, settle down. And do that same thing one more time. And please listen again to your body and follow your breath so you can move with me if that matches your rhythm, but really important and going to be more helpful to just flow with your breath. As you inhale, you can extend. As you exhale, first side leads, reaching back. Option also to hold the breath here for a little bit more stillness as you come into plank. And on your next exhale, lowering down and releasing. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, reaching. And exhale, softening. At the end of an exhale, forward bend. And inhale, one more time, that heart forward, tail back. And exhaling, releasing. Inhaling, really turning your attention inwards, noticing how you feel. And exhaling, letting go of everything you don't need. In and out. Inhale and exhale. See if you can use your inhales to feel and find a bit more space. And use your exhales to settle down, letting go of unnecessary action and thinking. Using the inhales again to just feel inward. And using your exhales, find a little bit more ease. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, Ardha Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Inhale, and exhale. The end of the exhale, release. Inhale, one more time, heart lifting, tail back. And exhale, folding forward. Inhale, rising up. And exhaling, settling down. We're going to open our feet a little bit wider here. So they're wider than the hips, maybe from the front too. And again, the knees are going to follow the toes. And come into a yogic squat. So knees always following the toes here, and you could just lower your hips until they're the height of the knees, and rest your forearms, rest your elbows just behind the knees. Nice variation. You also have something to sit on, like a block. You could put it under your tailbone and support there. And if you have the range, you can start to sink your lowest part of the back in between your legs as your arms come to the insides of your knees. A little bit of resistance there, and you could also bring your fingers down to the ground. It's okay if the back of the foot is not on the floor. Try to lengthen your back here. So we're pulling the belly in again as the heart reaches up and that tail reaches down. Two more smooth, unrushed breaths. Great. And then you're going to help yourself back down. So come up for a little bit of boat work. This can be really fun and really challenging for our core. So most important thing is holding your center here, and that'll help support the back. So what we don't want is to have a rounded lower back here and a feeling of any kind of pain, no pinching. So you can use the back of the hand on your lower back to make sure that this part of the back is moving up and into the body. And you continue holding the center, pulling the navel in as we bring one leg up and then the other. If you feel like you need some more support, hands down to the ground is fine, or just rest the hands behind the knees. Breathe deep here. Lengthen the back as you hold your center. For a little bit more, you can bring your arms parallel, just like the lower legs. Thumbs facing up, hands facing in, the breath moving free and deep. Feel free to stay here for 3 more breaths or move with me. Inhaling, lengthening one side, and exhale back to center. Inhaling, second side, spreading toes, and exhale back to center. One more time, lengthening the whole back, pulling the center in, and then exhale. Taking a little pause. Maybe even resting your forehead towards or in between your knees. I'm going to do that one more time. So please take the variation again of boat pose that's best for you. It could also be with maybe your toes still on the ground, maybe just one toe from each foot on the ground, or bring your legs up one at a time. Again, listening to and honoring your body, and then remembering the breath. Option to stay here or moving with your breath. I like to inhale and lengthen, and exhale, coming back in, inhaling, and exhaling. Inhale, lift your heart. And exhale, give it a nice squeeze, releasing any unnecessary tension. We're going to do a little bit more here using the arms. For those of you with any discomfort in the elbows or the shoulders, if this feels too much, you can always come back into the cat and cow or the boat pose where we just were. We're going to lift the whole body here, so it's going to help to have a big base. You want all 10 fingertips reaching into the ground. And we're going to keep holding the center, just like we've been doing. So on an inhale, with your shoulders relaxed into the back, inhale and just lift your seat up just a little bit. And then exhale, settle down. Do that a couple more times. Big hands, spread your fingers. Inhale, pull the belly up and in. And then exhale, release. Good. Now you could keep with that as we do a couple more repeats. Or this time, as you inhale, shoulders relax into the back, lift up and then lift your feet. Breathe deep and then release. We'll do that one more time. Getting ready, finding your foundation. Shoulders relax in the back. Inhale, lift up and then lift the feet. Try to pull them in as you pull the center in. Exhale, release. Good stuff. For good luck, we're going to come back into one more boat pose. When you're ready, lower legs parallel to the ground, or if you have it, it's going to be a lot of shaking for me and more rounding in the back. You could lengthen both of your legs and stay there for 3 breaths. Or trying that extension of one leg at a time, if that's working for you. Pulling into the center, lifting the heart as you lengthen the whole body. And then exhale, crossing the arms so that you rest them on the shoulders. Really important to bend the knees if you need to. And pull into that core support as you lower down into the low boat. Lowering as much as you can, shaking really good here. And then inhale back up. Cross the legs and take it easy. Nice. Now we're going to cross the ankles and come to sit back on your heels. If this is too hard on your knees, you can put something behind your knees. And so what I've got here is the ankles resting on the back of the Achilles, just above the heel of the lower foot. And you're going to sit back so that the back of your heel is pretty much right there in the base of the pelvis, the perineum area. And come onto your fingertips. Or if you have the range, all the way down onto the whole hand. But use the whole hand, so all 10 fingers. Lengthen the back. We're going to inhale and pull the belly in as we lift the knees off the ground. And then exhale. Let's do that again. Big hands, long back, strong shoulders. As you inhale, pull in, lift the knees up, and then exhale, release. Now you could just stay with that and keep going. Or, if you're ready, inhale, lifting the knees, and then the feet, floating. And exhale, release. Go further. Roll through the wrists if you need to, or make a fist or two. One more time. Inhale, belly in, knees up, floating, and then release. Good job. And then come back onto your seat. We're going to take an easy cross-legged seat. So you might even grab the sitting bones on the left and the right and open them a little bit more to broaden your base. So you can sit up nice and tall. I'll do that so I can sit up easy here. So we're just going to take a few twists to unwind and then bring it down again to the floor. Sit up tall. And lift your heart, lift your head. We're going to twist to the right first. So as you inhale, you might bring the left arm up. And then exhale, twisting first through the lower back, the mid back, not yet the head. You could just grab for that same side knee at first, or maybe already the opposite knee. Inhale, lifting and lengthening the spine, and then exhale, softening into your twist. So we definitely don't want to force anything here. And once we have a good foundation, we will start to add the head and the neck. The back arm here resting behind you, far enough that you can feel both of your shoulders are able to settle in and relax into the back. Use your inhale to sit up a little bit taller, even as you reach your seat down, lifting the crown up. And then again, using the exhales not to force, but just to soften a little easier into your twist. Last breath here, inhaling. And then exhaling, softening, releasing. We're going to do the same thing, other side. Inhale, lengthen the whole back. Bringing that arm up, if you like. And then starting your twist, bringing the other arm behind you. Now first you could just rest the hand or resting the forearm on the inside of the knee. And then start from your foundation, and as you exhale, once you find your point of resistance, you might add the head and the neck, bringing the head back to look over the back shoulder. But if that doesn't feel so good in your neck, you could just stay in a more neutral position. You could also rotate the head, even as you keep your lower back and your mid back, and eventually the upper back, holding in your twist. If it feels good, if you have the range, you might bring your arm to the outside of the opposite leg now. Again, it's just a point of leverage. We're not forcing or straining anything. And definitely no strain in the neck. One more breath here to lengthen. And another breath to soften. Coming out. And we're going to take it into just one little forward bend here. You can keep your arms on the ground or reach them overhead, lengthening through the whole back. And then exhaling, folding forward, just wherever your hands arrive. And letting your upper body fold over your legs. Let the belly be soft. Let the head and the neck hang heavy and relaxed. As you're ready, use your hands to come back up. And crossing the legs and then coming down for our final resting pose. Coming down into any position where you feel comfortable and where you can relax. It could be just where you started before, perhaps with the knees bent, feet on the floor. It could also be in a stable, easy seat, even sitting in a chair, or maybe resting on your side. We settle into Shavasana, the final resting pose. This is really a pose about taking the time to slow down, to soften, to let all this new information, this flexibility and the strength that you've been working on, integrate into your whole body, into your whole self. So again, find that comfortable resting pose. If it's classic Shavasana, the legs extended and the feet open wide, legs at least as wide as your hips. Arms by your side so that the shoulders are resting under the body. You can even lift your upper body a bit to bring the shoulders together. And resting the back of the head on the ground, the head and neck, an extension of your spine. Hands facing up, or even bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. And connect again to how you're feeling right here, right now. With every exhalation, let go of any unnecessary holding. With every inhalation, noticing your body and how it feels. With every exhalation, releasing all tension everywhere. As you continue to settle in and soften, allow your breath to take you deeper. With every exhalation, finding more stillness and looking for ways and places where you could relax a little more. Arriving very deep in stillness and silence. Bring your attention back to your breathing. And for the next few moments, simply watch the rise and fall of your natural breath. If you've got the time, feel free to stay here a little longer. Stay and rest as long as you like. And when you're ready, slowly start to deepen your breathing. With each exhale, slowly releasing. When it feels right, when you are ready, start to move your body again in any way that feels intentional, just feels nice. If you want to stretch the whole body again, you can bring your legs together. If you have one leg reaching down into the ground, and reaching out from your center, reach from your fingertips through your toes, and exhale. Just feel that. Enjoy your breath. Bending the knees and giving yourself another hug. And finishing by rolling to your side in a comfortable resting pose. Use your hands to help yourself up into one last stable, comfortable seat. Taking a moment here at the end of your practice to notice the overall effect. Noticing how you feel in your body. Noticing how you feel in your mind. And then turning your attention one last time back to your natural breathing. And simply notice and enjoy your breath. You can bring your arms overhead and your hands back to the center of your heart. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your practice with us here today. May it benefit you and those around you. Namaste.